Karen Bonafilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. I'm sorry, I'm really excited. My dogs are feeding off of that. So, and I can't mute myself, so I'm going to try to deal with it. Anyway, Jessie's back in the house. We have had the most fabulous talk before we even started. Let me tell you a little bit. Jessie will say hi, and then I'll tell them about you.
Hi, everybody. Go on. You're fine.
Okay. Jessie's right across the river from me in Portland, so it's really exciting to talk to someone in my area. So Jessie is a certified trauma healing practitioner, energy worker, and clair-awakened psychic, intuitive empath. Whoa, that's a lot, Jessie. She's been guiding individuals through deep personal transformation since launching her private practice, Healing PathWalkers, in February 2013. I want to read one more paragraph because I like it. With a decade.
We just got already into that energy, so it's
I know it's hard to get out.
Present. Yeah.
It's hard to read. With over a decade of professional experience and powerful storytelling of her own healing, Jessie supports others in recovering from trauma, rewiring limiting beliefs, healing their nervous system, and awakening their true gifts. And how many of you are walking and want to know your journey and what your gifts are? Somatic integration, which I don't know what that is, and channeled intuitive insight to help clients reclaim wholeness and purpose. So she's got a lot going on. So I want to tell you what we're going to talk about today, and then I'm going to have her tell a really quick story. We're going to talk, because of the holidays, about stress and coping and dealing with families.
Yeah.
And creative expression, finding purpose through service. And I so agree with that. Before we start, Jessie's been on the channel before, and someone that I know that moved out of Portland contacted her. And it was so exciting to hear that they had a relationship. Does that sound bad? They had a relationship, Yeah.
You can have a whole relationship in a moment.
Yeah. All right. Jessie, we're going to start and tell us about how can we stress in those or how can we not stress, and how can we cope in those family gatherings and the holidays?
Well, first of all, I believe that we have to begin at the basics, which is permission. We have to give ourselves permission. We have to give ourselves permission to get up from the table, to walk out of the room, to change the conversational topics, right? We have to give ourselves permission, whatever it is that we deny ourselves in the moment when we start to get stressed out, sitting there listening to whatever's going on.
Wow.
So for me, I didn't have that permission. I felt frozen and trapped in the moment because my trauma was childhood trauma. So, and I think a lot of us have that. In fact, I brought with me to this a book I'm reading called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. It's written by Lindsay C. Gibson. I just picked it up and I'm almost halfway through it. It is so on point. And she talks about why is it that we have so many disruptions and disconnections in our communities, our families, between people nowadays. And she thinks it's because we were all raised by emotionally immature parents who were raised by parents traumatized by World War II, And so
Mm.
there was a lot going on in the war during that
Mhm.
period, a lot in the world. It touched everyone. It's a collective trauma. And so we had
Ooh,
all these parents that had this don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Shell shock was real. Um,
yes.
there was so much going on in our collective, you know, um, social and political environment. My mom remembers as a child the videos coming on, the commercials and instructional videos at school to duck and cover under their desks. They were preparing for nuclear bombs to be dropped on them. And
Hey, I did that as a kid.
for her
I
that
did
was
that.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stuck somewhere inside her, you know? And we have all these things. So one of the things that she talks about in this book, it's really just about validating, which is
Hmm.
the second thing I think that we can do when we find ourselves in our family environment or in a stressful environment. Usually, as children, we did not have our emotional experience validated. So that
Right.
part of ourselves stays immature because it's not been recognized, witnessed, and gone through that maturation development process.
Hmm.
So it gets stuck back there. And so we walk around with this like wounded hole dragging from behind, going, who's going to validate me?
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, and I know this from personal experience, it doesn't matter if any of the people who you wanted to validate your pain from the past actually do, because my parents both apologized and validated what I went through. It wasn't at their hands, it was at their negligence and their dissociation that I endured trauma.
Oh,
So I endured trauma at the hands of other people that took care of me while my parents were doing their own lives.
wow.
So it was a neglect. So I got all that validation. My abuser got in trouble. I got that validation.
That's
I
good.
It didn't help.
Oh, it didn't help.
Mm-mm. Not for
Uh-oh.
any long-term duration. Because where the validation had to come from is myself. And that's the maturation process a child would naturally go through, reflecting with a parent and then seeing in themselves, oh, yes, now, and then it matures, it becomes a part of self. But the child is stuck and frozen. So the first time I got into an experience where I felt invalidated, all that programming was still there.
Mm.
Now I'm in that space. Now I'm
Hmm.
an invalidated child, frozen and stalled out, sitting at the table, not a 40 whatever year old woman sitting
That
at
you
the
are.
table.
Hmm.
Right. And so permission to do what I need to do. I need to go to the bathroom. I have some bleep I need to let go of for realsies. I need to have a space for myself. I'm not feeling well for a minute. I'm going to lay down. I have a little bit of a headache. My head is
Mm.
hurting because these things are going through my mind. I don't owe the whole explanation to anybody about that, but I do need to have some back pocket strategies to exit that I'm comfortable with saying. So that's the third thing. So, permission, self
Okay.
validation of what I'm experiencing. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to sit through this conversation.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you say something at that point in time, or did you just go do that?
It depends on the what the situation is. Some people in some situations, I have to just like if I'm like in a circle and I'm not necessarily like a focal point or anything, and I'm having an experience and I'm upset, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm now whatever, somebody said something that's triggered me, whatever it may be,
Hmm.
then I just quietly get up and step away. If somebody asks me, then I'll be like, "Oh, I just need to go to the restroom for a minute." we're taking care of ourselves. I have permission to take care of my needs. And my need right now is some room to breathe. Because I'm an HSP, a highly sensitive person, which means I have limbic sensitivity. 20% of the population are HSPs. So lots of us are. And
I
that
think I
means,
am.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Most people who identify as psychic or intuitive, or I call it clair-awakened, because I think all those clair senses, as you
Mm,
start turning them on,
hmm.
the others start to come online. The more you use them, the more you build that sensory input information, that just becomes your proprioceptive senses. If you look at it from that perspective, I declare senses are just the metaphysical term for having limbic sensitivity and proprioceptive, awareness and discernment. So I think a lot of HSPs end up becoming addicts. There's some studies in New Zealand where they show that HSPs are called orchids because if they're in a good environment, they become these amazing flowers. They're the creators of culture.
Oh, interesting.
But if
Mhm.
they are in the wrong environment, they can never flower. They may never even grow leaves. They may just stay a withered root
Hmm.
waiting for the rain to come.
Okay.
So it's important to give ourselves permission to self-validate and to have an exit strategy. Because if you go to the bathroom for 5 minutes, and after that 5 minutes of breath work, your other tools and strategies deployed, you still don't feel good and like you want to go back, no one's going to be like, why? You were just in the bathroom for a while. It's
She's
pretty
got problems.
self-explanatory. Something's up. You know what I mean? So,
Well, I have a question for you because somebody, a family member, made a comment to me during Thanksgiving that I didn't think was very nice.
oh, uh-huh.
So I should have exited for myself to
Maybe,
regroup.
maybe. If you needed to regroup, you could have just said, "Oh, thanks," and get up and go to the bathroom. You don't owe an explanation if they're saying something that's not nice. But if
Hmm.
you want, if as you gain more presence, I I would offer you could also say, "Ouch,"
Oh, I wish I would have done that.
right?
I wish I would have just said, "Oh,
So, like, I'm in this songwriting community,
I
the
like that."
singer-songwriter soiree community. And they talk a lot, they do a lot of education about how to work collaboratively with each other because we're all sensitive and intuitive and we're musicians. And so if most people aren't trying to hurt your feelings. Most people are obtuse or oblivious. And if they are, that's like a 2% of the population. That's like sociopathic or malignant narcissists. That's a very small percentage. Most people are just obtuse and they don't realize that will hurt you. And so if someone loves us, they
Hmm.
want to know that they've hurt us. And
I
it
need to
doesn't
do
mean
that.
they're responsible, but it means, ouch.
I like that. I really, really like that. And then 2 days later, I was with this person again, and then I felt the need to explain.
Right.
And he was, oh, you're all good. You're all good. Yeah, that's good. I think, okay, well, that's not the way you reacted to me. Yeah. So, but ouch.
Yeah.
I'm going to use ouch. I'm going to start using
And
ouch.
one thing you can offer your family member, that particular family member, or if you ever want to, you maybe it's just this is what they offer in the community. If you notice that you've said something hurtful, oops,
Oops, oops, and ouch.
oops, and ouch.
I don't think
And
I
if you
said
make that agreement in a family, you know, especially if you have a family like we're trying to all get along, we haven't had a dinner for a
something.
while,
Uh-huh.
we're working towards building, like my family completely fractured when I was a teenager. And just last spring, no, last summer, excuse me, summer time is weird for me. I went down to my hometown. My cousin, my brother, and I sat at the table together for the first time in 30 something years.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that particular configuration had never been alone together. But we made a promise to each other that family is important. And we're of a generation, we're like the lone men standing of this generation. Like, can we just eat together? And It was the best meal. We laughed so hard. It was so
Oh.
fun. And and we just had this already established agreement. My brother and I had already discussed it. Like, we're not gonna hurt each other. We can talk about our hurt, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it was fascinating. I watched my brother have this conversation with my friend, my cousin, these men in my life, and he's like, "Oh, you guys, your pickers are broken." And he's just like straight up about, and he's like talking to him. He's like, "It's because of our moms and our dads." He just brings all this out, and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
"Wow."
That's
I
crazy.
had no idea my brother had that much awareness. So I think if we give each other enough room and we are preemptive and have conversations, if we know there's strife or struggle, and we make agreements like, hey, if I say something you don't like, just say ouch. And I'll be like, oh, oops. And if
I like that.
later I need to talk to you about it, can we visit later? You know, can we revisit it later and have a conversation if it's necessary? So that's my strategy for any stressful situation. And I pre-run that in my mind before I go in, before I even start. I give myself permission to acknowledge my feelings and to get up from the table or to say ouch or to blah blah blah, right? Whatever your authentic exit strategy will be. And then I go in. You know, I because we all know it's not like we're taken by surprise by so and so's behavior. You know, we're usually
Right,
waiting
right.
for it.
That
And
person was
because,
just being how they usually are.
right.
Oh, those are both great. Those are really good ideas. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa. Any other thing about coping with family members during the holidays?
Yes.
Ouch and oops. I love it.
One of my favorite tools is I think of it as like a little mini translator. You know how in Star Trek, they have these like translators that are built into their thing, and then sometimes they go
Oh, yeah.
awry, and everyone's talking this other language.
Mm-hmm.
Just recognize your translators have gone awry,
Oh, gosh.
and that person is talking to you, and they think they're telling you something, but what they are is confessing. Their subconscious is confessing. It's
Mm-hmm.
telling you about them, what they're afraid of, what they're angry about, what they're hurt about, what they're fearing. So if you can pause and suspend your belief because you believe you know what they're saying, because you recognize the language, you know these words. What if
Mm-hmm.
you don't know their intention? So I try to imagine, and this is going to sound horrible, but in my family, my grandmother was a painter. And when she was learning to paint faces, she painted all of us grandchildren, all of our parents. And there was a long hall and it had all of the paintings. And as she got better, we looked more like people.
Uh-huh.
But in the beginning, we looked like ape ancestors. So we
Sorry.
would call it the Hall of Ancestors, right? Because we would walk down the hall and we're like, oh, look at we're evolving.
I don't look like that.
But what I try to do is I try to look at all of us as our ancestral version. Okay, so we're all monkeys, really. And we've been civilized in these ways and these rules. And sometimes someone's just awry in the tribe. What's up with that? And I try to get curious instead of personal.
I love that. I love that.
So if I can get curious and I can try to find where are they coming from or what's their motivation or what are they sharing with me right now?
Mm-hmm.
How are they feeling? What are they missing? What are they unaware of, right?
Yeah, but you really have to step back in the moment to do that.
You do. And
That's
that
a lot of self-control.
here's the here's the best challenge. This was my favorite challenge when I heard this. I'm probably going to misquote it, but Einstein basically says the mark of genius isn't knowing a lot of things. It's being willing to entertain something without needing to know it.
Without what?
Needing to know it to be true. I don't need this to be true
Oh.
to be able to entertain this belief, this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, like INFJ types, personality types, we tend to run multiple scenarios through our mind of what's going on in the moment while we're talking to the person.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I call that high density learning. Because we're
Okay.
not just having that experience with them, we're going through, oh,
Yep.
okay, I'm going to pick this one. And what's funny is when we pick that one, it doesn't go the way we thought or planned. So then we're like, oh my God, I was
Uh-oh.
so wrong.
Plan
But
B.
what if we just played a hyper dense concentration video game where we played all those other routeways? And we don't need to learn those learning sets, but
Oh.
this is what we did need to learn, and we don't have that within us. We can only access it through the experience with this person. And so, just like in a video game, we're like, oh my God, there's all this stuff happening. We're excited. We want that.
Yeah.
But in our personal life, we're like, what are you doing? Like, we made a
Hmm.
video game to have the experience, and we pull away from and we resist the real life experiences that build our emotional resilience, that build our self-discipline, that build our capacity to have empathy and connection with another human being. It helps us to take responsibility for our own emotional state and witness that the other person can't in this moment. And
Hmm.
that takes me to like service, right?
Okay, let's talk
How
about
do we heal?
hmm
Yeah, because I think one of the things that so many of my clients and myself have struggled with over the years is being motivated to take care of ourselves.
yes. Hmm.
Put someone in need in front of me and I will get out of that bed. But no one
Oh.
there, well, why bother? Why bother making that food if it's just for
Hmm.
me? Why bother doing whatever if it's just for me? And I think a lot of people get stuck in that um, waiting place for it to matter, waiting for something to pull them out, waiting
Hmm.
for someone to validate them, waiting for someone to care about them, waiting
Yes.
for someone to love them.
Hmm.
That waiting place is our death sentence, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
agree.
we'll wait there forever.
Hmm.
So
And the
I
person
liked
who's causing that doesn't even realize it either.
no, and to it's not this isn't a knock on it. It's just this is a human condition. This is why we call it the human condition. It's a condition set, and we all have to find our way through it.
Hmm.
The human condition, none of us get out of it alive. None of us get out of it untraumatized. Sometimes the trauma comes from the outside in, sometimes it's all contained inside, sometimes it's coming
Hmm.
out of us. But we all have a set of learning experiences we have to go through. And this is that emotional EQ. This is like how you build your emotional intelligence is by putting yourself in situations where you, instead of running away, totally, I mean, just getting up and then going, oh, I hate that person. They hate me. They're never going to be nice to me. And every meal's going to. Well, we tell that story. And then what option is there left? The reality is listening to us, it's shaping itself around us.
Hmm.
So if we
Hmm.
don't give it a different script, if we don't see the pattern and write a different outcome, or even give ourselves in a coherent, healthy state of mind place, the ability to write a different story, and then, oh, now I'm going to self apply because I know I'm going to have another meal with this person. So, in your
Their
instance,
family.
right, like,
Mhm.
is it more important that as family, you acknowledge that you have differences? There's numbnesses, there's awarenesses, there's lack of maturations, there's wounds that are still gaping, and that everyone belongs. And that's family
Yeah.
constellation work, right?
Hmm.
Where if we start casting people out, that's what happened in my family. People got thrown out as soon as they were a disruptive force. And I was a too honest at 14 to be tolerated by my family. They're
Well,
like,
that's pretty
what?
powerful.
But I
14.
I couldn't, once I told the truth about what I had already endured, stepping into my family dynamics and being asked to be silent while I'm watching alcoholism,
Wow.
abandonment, abuse, neglect.
Hmm.
I couldn't abide it. And I had to speak up. And, I was a peer counselor at the time. I'd been trained at Planned Parenthood at 15 to help people my own age. I was very passionate about it. And my
Wow.
service work has always been a part of my life, finding ways to
Wow.
connect with other people
Hmm.
because my own healing was too hard. But I will do anything for someone who shows up in front of me. And so these people, they come, they show up. I'm like, oh, what do they need? And oh, lo and behold, I need it too, but I won't make it for me. I will make it for them.
Well,
So it's
when
a
did you start
hack.
taking care of yourself?
About 3 years ago.
Wow.
It took me a lifetime
Wow. That's
to
a,
learn that,
whew.
you know. And
Wow.
I thought I was at different points, but what I was doing was setting unrealistic goals for myself that I was like a donkey with a carrot being led to this idea, to this idea. Will this make me feel loved? Will this make me feel valuable? Will this make me feel of worth? And because I didn't know how to do that, service made me feel valuable, made me feel of worth. Now, we can't stop there. We have to recognize this service we're doing is as much for them as it is for us. And once we start to see that, then we start to ask ourselves, do I even know what I've been serving to these other people? If I'm not trying my own tea, do I know if it's bitter? Do I know if it's good?
But isn't that based on your experience so that you know that it's
That's how you get the feedback, right?
okay? Hmm.
And that's why we have to come to a place where we're willing to entertain somebody's view of us that's outside of ours, of ourselves, somebody's experience that's outside of our comfort. Because that feedback shows us this like distance that we can now navigate between us
Yeah.
instead of a distance, a gulf between us. So I like to think of it like when someone is up opposite me and we're looking at something and we're like, oh, I can feel my blood pressure rise. I can feel that intensity. First of all, I shake it
Breathe.
off and breathe. I shake it off and I breathe,
Shake it off and breathe.
right? Shake it off and breathe. And if I have to stand up and stretch, I do that too. And I'm like, sorry, I was getting all stiff and
I can see
rigid
you
with
doing that
myself.
at the Thanksgiving table.
Think about it. Like, can we all just do a shake off? Woo!
I'm shaking you off.
It's giving us permission to acknowledge what's happened. We're not going to ignore it. We're not going to avoid it. But, woo, I gotta, excuse me, I'm going to hug myself for a minute. Whoo, doggy, that was a rough one. A little bilateral stimulation, right? If I'm totally triggered and I don't feel like I can say anything and I'm like, okay, if I don't bite my tongue, I'm going to lose it. I can
Yeah.
under the table squeeze left, right, left, right. I can pick 2 points in the room and look from the left to the right, left, right. I can take a moment and I can ask myself questions about the room. How many pictures are on the wall? How many people are in the room? How many people are wearing glasses? How many table settings are there? I can ask myself questions that are about the environment to check back into where I'm at and help me pull out of where I've gone to
Is
the
is
wound.
Jesse, is that a way of grounding yourself?
Yeah, in the dissociative kind of speak, it's a way of restoring present state awareness when you've dissociated. That's what dissociation is. When you are, sometimes people feel like they're numb or they lose track of even being in the moment and kind of come to, and they don't know what's even being talked about. So dissociation can come in many forms. Sometimes it's like a sound and feeling
Mm-hmm.
like a pressure change in the room, and you almost feel like you're floating above the room. And some people literally have that experience of floating above the room. We could call that a out of body experience or a remote experience. So these are ways that trauma trains us to our superpowers. Oh my God, you can remote view, you can OBE. Whoa. All it takes is someone hurting your feelings? Sweet. Okay. Can we do it without that part? Like, can we train it
Mm-hmm.
now? And that's the gift that trauma actually is for us. It breaks our belief in what's possible because we're trying to survive. And trauma is usually the gateway for some of the most incredible gifts of creative expression, of psychic ability, of innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our greatest innovators were not coming from rich, happy families with everything going great. They're like these
Oh, that's true.
stories of,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that innovation, that willingness to try things, and that takes me to creativity. Creativity isn't just painting a picture or writing a poem or a song. Creativity is in the food, it's in the expression, it's in the way you're viewing the moment.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
what if you try to imagine, let's say your family is a real doozy of a family. I mean, we had police that used to come to some of our family reunions. We had so many problems in our family, and it was such a huge
Wow.
family. And
Seriously?
oh my gosh, there's just so many things. There was some fights, there was some conflicts, there was some like you better not comes. There was some cousins who married cousins partners. There was so much. My family has everything from the bottom of the barrel to the cream of the crop. So there's like over 300 and
Wow.
something relatives in my
Wow.
greater family on my mother's side of the family, and not even looking at my father's side of the family at
Mm-hmm.
all. So this diversity in my family was viewed as a problem. And now I talk with about 70 to 80 of my family members. They all come to me and they're like, Jessie, you're the only sane one. And I'm like, well, you guys all could talk to each other. Like, if you like me, they do too. They're all like, same rules. Yeah, same rules. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've
Uh-huh.
agreed to the rules of play. So the truth is, most people are sitting and suffering in silence. And by saying ouch when someone who's being obtuse, by you being brave enough to say, ouch,
Mm-hmm.
you're offering a vehicle for everyone else at the table to be able to say, ouch, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't realize, well, they don't know how it is impacting you.
No. And we hide that. We mask
Oh,
that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how good does that feel?
Wow. This is pretty cool. Guys, you've got to remember this because Christmas is coming up too.
So the
Wow.
other thing I'll say is I like to, oh, here we go. I also, as far as creativity and stressful experiences, right? So Christmas is coming. So I like to have even projects. I'm just going to show you guys one of my projects. I'm working
Okay.
on a board. It's just a board. I'm just sanding this board. I do
You
not
wait a minute. Wait a
have,
minute. You're sanding this board?
yeah, I'm making a super smooth shelf. And so I go
What?
and I
Wait.
sit out.
What are you making?
It'll be just like a little
A
shelf.
little shelf. So you're
Just a
sanding,
little
sanding, sanding.
sanding. So if I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I just pick up my shelf, grab my cup of coffee, go out front, sit on my front porch, and I
And
sand.
sand.
There's a reason that Buddhists say, chop wood, carry water, pray.
Say
Just
that
do
again slowly.
chop wood, carry water, and pray.
Okay. I have
So I
not heard.
just find something And this sanding, like, not only is it something, getting finer and finer grits of sanding paper, feeling this get smoother and smoother, my
Mm-hmm.
mind can't help but wander over the things. So if I struggle with meditation, having a project like this that's
Mm-hmm.
sitting right next to my desk, in my way, kind of like my cello,
Yeah.
it's reminding me, hey, you stressed?
And it's
You
very
like touching
meditative.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just go do that? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm in a different state of
Better than
mind.
drinking.
Way more effective because then you don't have to recover from the damage that the
Yeah.
alcohol does in the
Yeah.
body as you're trying to metabolize it.
That's
So
great. That's great. So
have
find something like that.
Yep. And just have it out. So another thing
So
I
you
like
can
to do, I make
grab it.
paper stars for Christmas. I
Mm-hmm.
make elaborate paper stars, like, and I have fun with them. And when people come over, they get to pick their star. And by the end of Christmas, they're all gone from my house.
Oh, that's a
Um,
beautiful gesture.
so if I'm
Beautiful.
anxious or I'm stressed, I can create something. And then once I start creating something and I'm like, people are going to pick this up, I start thinking about, oh, I wonder who's going to like this, or oh, what
Mm-hmm.
color might go well with that. These are ways that we retrain our nervous system in a gentle, loving fashion towards service, towards creative expression, towards something tangible. We're getting our mind and our body. We're using both sides of our body, bilateral stimulation, which helps us
Mm-hmm.
process anyway. And so for people who feel really stuck, because the standards are go for a walk or meditate or go exercise. And yes, those things are great.
Those, yeah,
But
that's what.
if
Mm-hmm.
if you're a dissociative, you need way more than that. You can't just go out for a walk all the time. They, you need something,
Actually live
so
in here.
yeah. Yeah.
It's cold,
Yeah.
cold and
Right.
wet.
And through family functions.
Mm-hmm.
So like let's say I'm stressed and I'm at my family's house. I'm not kidding. I will take a project like that sanding
You
because
do?
that gives me oh yeah. I always have a project in my bag. I always have a notebook. I always have an instrument in my car. I always have prepared with me creative things that make me feel better, ways for me to outlet and express, which is my journal, and things that I can do that are non-offensive. Usually me sitting there strumming my guitar is totally non-offensive. If I sit back in a corner and I'm like, I got nothing for this group today, I can sit in the corner and quietly pluck something that becomes my meditation. And
Hmm,
now my attention can be divided. I can hear what's going on in the room. I'm present, but I'm creating something in the room that for me is comfortable. And usually people come and thank me afterward for it.
really?
And I've observed how bringing that creative energy into the room ignites in other people a desire to connect and be creative too. So people will join me
Oh,
in
yes.
whatever craft I'm working on. People will go, they want to gravitate towards it. Having a puzzle out is another great way to create a low stress dynamic for us monkeys to sit around a table together and look at something else other than each other, right? So these
These
are
are great
things
ideas.
that we can do to just bring that stress level down. The
Mhm.
other thing is, if you're the one hosting, you got to let go of the perfectionism. You cannot host an event and hope that it goes perfectly and have a
Well,
good time,
well, it's really hard because it's
right?
not going to go
So
perfectly.
in the beginning, before your hostess with the mostest adventure even begins,
Hmm.
look yourself in the mirror and I give myself permission to fuck up today, to have
Hmm.
something go wrong, for the food maybe not to be that great. But
Hmm.
what I desire most is time with my family. And
Yeah.
that I'm going to enjoy today. And so I was listening to this neuroscientist recently, and she was talking about how much she enjoys her emotions. And the interviewer was like, really? But what about when you're mad? And she's like, are you kidding? I relish being angry. Do you know how hard it was for me to be able to feel angry about something? I couldn't even access my anger when I was young. I can feel it all.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, there you go.
Yeah, very
That's
freeing.
that's the
Wow.
ticket. And even hearing her just made my heart like expand a little bit. And I could just feel, I even feel it now, that relaxation spreading across me like, oh God, my anger is appropriate because what if this person who said something to you at the dinner table had no idea that they hurt you on a regular basis, or maybe even others as well? What
This
if
is
they
true.
really
This is
had
true.
no idea?
Hmm.
And so in their mind, oh, it's all good. I mean, obviously you didn't like it, but we're all good. Well, for you it is. But I spent 3 days figuring out what I want to talk to you about this because it's not all good for me.
Yeah,
And the reason it's not all good for me is because now I feel like I need to strategize for how do I make sure you don't do that again?
right.
Well, I can't unless I shift the discomfort. It's not yours in the first place. That person's the one who's uncomfortable and saying something inappropriate and hurtful.
I
They're
gotta tell
coping.
you, you've given so many good tips, so many good tips that's going to help grow and evolve our souls and also help with family dynamics and
I
such.
hope so.
Yeah, no, you have. You
Yeah.
have. In fact, I'm going to go back and listen and get some more, process this a little more. But
Yeah.
we're going to have to wrap up. But we have some
Yes.
really cool news to share. So I want you
Yes.
to share your news.
Oh yeah. So I've recently launched starting in November, I launched an 8-week or 8-session package program that is designed specifically for rebooting your nervous system, coaching you through the process. So it's 8 sessions spaced out at your choice. And through those, between those sessions, you have access to me for coaching in the moment when things are going awry. So you can get in the moment feedback and well, within reason, but in the moment feedback. So not between certain hours, right? It's
Yeah.
bedtime. But in general, that I answer within 12 hours essentially for all of my clients. So that way you can address the issues as they happen, and then you have something to work towards for that next session, so you're prepared. And I'm taking people through a progression that is all designed to help you first internally and then apply externally, process and digest internally, apply externally. So, and I've just, developed this process over the last, 12 years of working with people, almost 13 now, on how to change dynamics, how to process trauma. So I've seen this progression break down over years now, and I want to empower people so that they don't feel like they're crazy going through the process
Right.
because,
And they're going to heal. They're going to heal
yeah,
through that too. Can
heal
we
your
bring up
nervous
that?
system.
Can we bring up that flyer so we can see what that
Yeah.
looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that. Okay, so
So this
now
is just about me and my work, but if we can go to the one that's at the first, I think the first one.
the conquer your stress
There
and
we go.
anxiety. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
eight
love that, from
sessions.
surviving to thriving.
Yes. Yes.
So 8 sessions and personalized coaching to reduce anxiety, deepen connections, break old patterns, rewire your nervous system, and learn to live a joyous and purposeful driven life. Well, I'm going to tell you guys. So she's doing one on. You have to understand this. She's doing one-on-one counseling with you.
Yeah.
Counseling, the appropriate word.
It is. It's there. We're doing counseling. We're doing meditate, like self hypnosis therapy. We're rewriting. We're doing some cognitive behavioral training. Doing some EMDR. It's a real cocktail. Some Gestaltian processing of these tools that have been proven to work with processing trauma. Uh, they're all integrated throughout the program in the one-on-one session work. And there's
So she's
also recorded classes that are that you'll have access to as well, that are teaching you about your nervous system, your responses, your energy, all of that stuff.
So it's pretty comprehensive. It's very comprehensive
Yeah.
with proven strategies. Okay, these are 8 sessions, and then she will even talk with you outside of those sessions should you
Yeah.
need help.
Yeah, we do
And I'm going to tell
texts
you,
and emails.
text and emails. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you the cost of this is phenomenal. And reach out to Jessie to find out the cost, because you will go, are you kidding me? I can do this for that amount.
Yeah.
And she wants to make it affordable so people can get the help they need and learn the coping strategies and
Yeah.
just live a better life.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
that is my passion. And
Yeah.
I'll say this, it's a little bit a guilt, my own selfish guiltiness is I want to see what people will make if they're happy and driven and creative and joyous. I want to see what they will do and become. I'm excited by that.
Well,
That's
I have so many people I
exciting.
know that could benefit from this class. Not saying I couldn't, but that can definitely benefit from the
I
class.
benefit every time I go through it.
I bet you do.
That's why I do it.
Okay, Jessie, did we cover everything that we had
I
talked
think
about?
so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to ask you to take that down because we are going to send out a special message. And sorry, Jessie, I didn't tell you, but we have a mutual friend now, and he's living
Yes.
over in Hawaii. And I can't speak for Jessie, but I just want to tell you how much I love you and
Oh,
how much I've
yes.
appreciated you through all
Mhm.
these years, Michael. And I
Yes.
miss you. And I hope life is going well for you.
Mm.
Don't be such a stranger, please.
She got you.
He knows how I feel. He
Oh
does.
yeah.
He
Yes.
does.
It was such an honor to be able to witness you through his shared experience, what he shared of his experience of you. Yeah. So there's so much love. It's beautiful.
Oh God, I know. You
Getting
know.
a gift of that. It's like a drop in. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow, this is amazing. We talked for hours. It was crazy.
Seriously, he did?
I think he and I ended up talking for a couple hours, if I recall correctly. We ended up talking for quite a while. There was
Well,
just so much in
I'm gonna
common.
contact him and say, hey,
Yeah.
the video's coming up. You need to watch it.
Say hello to him for me. Yeah.
Okay, well, he might be contacting you
And
again.
hello, Michael. Mwah. So
Mm,
no.
all
Thank
right.
you, Karen. Thank you
Jesse, always a
again.
pleasure. Always,
Yeah.
always, always a pleasure.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
And thank
And
you
your
for
dog's
sharing.
quieted right down.
What's that?
Your dog's quieted right down when they knew
I
you
was
were
hitting
getting
the
the
mute.
business. Oh,
I am a quick learner. I
yeah.
was hitting mute. Yeah. Okay, Jesse, thank you so
All right.
much. A pure pleasure.
Thank
Okay.
you. Have a great day.
Bye bye.